33-minute rounds for the Apex Middleweight Championship belt. This bout is brought to you by Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. First, out of the Hogs red corner, weighing in at 189.9 pounds, with 0 wins and 1 loss, out of Core One Fitness, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, Tanner Johnson. And his opponent out of the OEB blue corner, weighing in at 192.7 pounds. His record is 3 wins with 1 loss. Out of American Killer Bees, Cleveland, Tennessee, Lee Doomsday Poe. Your ref for this fight is Barry O'Neill.
Barry O'Neill, our referee in this catchweight bout at 195, presented by Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. Tanner Johnson in the black trunks with the red trim, red tape around the gloves as well. Lee Doomsday Poke in the short black trunks. Actually, there's some black and blue in those trunks and the black and yellow gloves. American Killer Bees always sporting the black and yellow. Catchweight bout at 195, 3 rounds. Apex 13, Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, Vince Ferrar, Josh Matthews, Sawyer Rich, touch of gloves. We are underway in this, what should be fantastic bout.
Watch out for Lee Poke in the clinch.
Yeah.
Watch out for his knees. And
immediately clinches.
Yep. Poke is going to want to utilize his knees, a former semi-pro football player. As Vince mentioned, coming off an impressive victory. And Lee Doomsday Poke again. Nice takedown.
There's a reversal there.
Yeah.
Lee Poke went for the trip, got off balance, ended up on bottom.
Almost feels like the fans are anticipating a longer fight than we've seen here throughout much of this night as these guys start to settle in.
You can just tell they're much more composed.
Yeah.
They're kind of weary. Not really weary, but they don't go for it right off the bat. They want to fill each other out. They want to find their range.
Tanner Johnson hadn't been able to break through. Quite leaning on him.
Lee Poke is tying up limbs, tying up his arms very, very well and controlling the posture of Tanner Johnson.
Tanner Johnson, just some pot shots to the side of Lee Poke. Corner wants Johnson to keep working because if he's not active, then O'Neill, our referee, is going to stand him up.
It could be a game plan of Lee Poke is to top limbs and stall. A lot of people do that to try to get a stand-up. He's doing well so far, but Tanner passes right here.
And now Tanner had an opportunity at the back.
Going for a knee bar.
Like that, Lee Poke.
But he does not have it. Scramble, and Lee Poke is now on top.
Wow, what a transition. Nice job by Poke.
Poke said that he just fell in love with MMA while he was playing football. Went to an MMA gym, and he's been in love with it ever since.
Lee Poke with the black toenail paint. I know a guy that does that as well.
That's what he does all the time. And some other, by God, wrestler does that as well. Yes, I know it's you, Sawyer. So why is that? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, it's a good luck charm. It's a superstition. Every time I've painted my nails, I've always won, and I didn't one time and lost. So
big shot there on Thompson. Excuse me, on Tanner Johnson by Lee Poke.
Yeah, Poke is trying to do what he can here to show that he's in control, show that he's utilizing his offense. Got his nickname from the villain who killed Superman. You got to love that.
Good ground and pound by Lee Poke here.
Final seconds of the round. Can Johnson survive?
Johnson's rolling for an armbar.
And that's the end of the first round. Interesting. Both guys had their moments. Well, Josh, who would you score that first round to?
I'm going to go with Lee Poke. I think Poke did more to show that he was in control. He went for the takedown, and like Sawyer pointed out, Johnson was able to turn that takedown around. But once they got down, into the game, Sawyer's too much. I have a lot of fun sitting next to this guy. But there you're seeing when they were on the ground here in the ground and pound that was being implemented, and the back and forth they would go.
Yeah, it was just a scramble, really.
Yeah.
Lee Polk, I think, did way more damage in that round. When he did get the top position, he utilized that opportunity and laid some hammer fists down a lot more than Tanner Johnson did when he had top position. I think it's 10-9 Lee Polk for that round.
Can you tell Lee Polk played football? We had a close view of the legs of Lee Polk. I mean, my goodness, put together. And Lee Polk says, hey, you know, the Doomsday, you mentioned that nickname had nothing to do with MMA. And he just calls himself a big comic nerd. And comic nerds don't always look like that or hit like that.
No, he's 37 years old, and you know that he's been an athlete his entire life. And to be able to pick up MMA the way that he has, and to be able to get in there with, you know, someone like Tanner Johnson, and this was supposed to be a title fight.
And Tanner Johnson open hand out with those fingers.
Johnson is looking to create that range and find that range for that right hand. That's what he's doing the entire time. And Polk is looking to clinch. He's wanting to close the distance. Every time that Johnson gets close, Polk clinches, just like we see here.
And I think if they were to stay in the middle of the cage, I'd watch out for an eye poke on Polk. No pun intended, because of the way he's reaching for that distance. Johnson and Polk is coming in trying to close the distance at the same time. I mean, he's just got to open hand fingers out.
You're talking about Tanner Johnson.
Tanner Johnson has the open hand fingers straight out.
Johnson is looking for that right hand, guys. He's putting his left hand out, open palm, and he's finding a home for that. He's trying to find a home for that right hand over and over.
Well, the jab, I think, has been effective for Johnson here in the last few seconds.
It's interesting that Johnson's trying to close the gap, and we know how dangerous Polk is in the clinch.
Straight kick from
Look at
Johnson.
that. He's putting his left hand out, and he's just trying to find that range for that right hand over and over.
Well, good
shot by Johnson.
Almost knocked our monitor over.
Some give in the cage.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And these guys went into it hard. There's one of those knees by Polk. That rocked Johnson.
Foot stomp by Lee Polk.
Got to stay active, right?
Oh, yeah. Good knee by Johnson, trying to get the reversal here and put him on the cage, but no luck.
I don't think Johnson wants to catch another knee from Polk. You can see the way he's positioning his body.
I don't think that this is a game that Johnson wants to play with Polk here. He's got a real good clinch. I mean, he's throwing knees too, though. I mean,
Vince mentioned the size of the legs.
Here comes Johnson. Johnson's teeing off now.
Polk just covering up. Polk is tired.
Yeah. Polk is tired. He's got his mouth open, chin straight up in the air. This is bad. He'd get caught. Doing that.
And you see the reach advantage that Johnson has, but Johnson's tired too.
Both men look, they look pretty good. They're in great shape, but both men with the mouth open.
Get deep into round number 2 here, and I don't know, to you guys' point, one big shot from either man may put this one away.
Johnson, this is a game that Lee Polk is wanting to get the clinch. He's been trying to play the clinch game the entire night. Good.
End of the round, and they fight through it. So there was a lot of activity in that second round, and for both guys, Josh, who would you score that round?
Well, if we went with Lee Polk in round number 1, I'm going to go with Tanner Johnson in round number 2. I think because round number 1 was so close that you give round 2 to Tanner Johnson because it was even closer than round number 1. Saw some big knees from Lee Polk, but I think Johnson did enough to win the round, Sawyer.
I'm going to have to disagree with that.
Okay.
And I think that Lee Polk won the round based on his clinching and aggression. He controlled him on the fence. Both guys were landing shots when they were in the center of the cage. This round was much closer than round number 1 for me. I give it 10-9 Lee Polk based on aggression and controlling the fight and pushing him up against the cage in the clinch.
So you think that Lee Polk is up 2 rounds to none?
Yes.
All right, 3 3-minute rounds. Vince Ferrara, Josh Matthews, and Sawyer Rich here cage-side, Saudi Daisy Wrestling Arena. What a venue here in Saudi Daisy, Tennessee, not too far outside of Chattanooga. And this is a catchweight bout at 195, presented by the great folks at Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. They do so much with MMA here with our organization and overall. And we appreciate their support. We appreciate you watching here tonight as we're cage-side. Lee Polk in the blue and black, Tanner Johnson in the black and red.
If you're Tanner Johnson, do you think that you're down 2 rounds?
No. I think that both men may think that they've won each round.
Okay.
You know, I think that going in, I think that both men might think they can coast, but I don't think it's the case. Just because I said that Lee Polk is up 2 zip is not the case here. We got 3 judges that are watching a very close fight here tonight.
Yeah, our scores are unofficial,
right.
Obviously.
Well, you see the knees from Polk as he's trying to buckle Johnson and then come in for the clinch after that and then be able to attack.
Lee Polk's got legs the size of people.
If I'm either one of these men, I am trying to finish at this point because
I think you have to, right?
Right. You don't know what the judges. I mean, and you don't want to lose a decision like this.
Don't
okay?
put it in
This
the judge's
is a
hands.
very he got clipped. Johnson just got hit pretty hard right there. But right, you don't want to lose a close fight like this because you fought so hard.
Oh,
Polk never
got
closed
clipped.
it. Yeah,
Polk
he
got
did.
clipped
They
right
both
there.
did,
Right.
and neither man took advantage of the
Right.
opportunity.
I think Johnson's was a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Polk with the 1-2 there.
Polk is backing up with his chin up, though. That's dangerous. And now he charges
Here's
in.
the aggression I'm
There
talking
we
about
go.
from Polk.
This is what Polk needed to do. Johnson went for a takedown.
Yeah.
You let it go.
Lifted him up, but couldn't complete it.
That means, to me, that just says you're gassed, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, it is.
Polk stuck a knee as we're down.
Both
to a
these men mouth wide open.
third and final round. Will someone get the finish?
I think Johnson's got to work real hard here if he wants to win this fight based on the judge's
Yeah.
decision in the last 60 seconds.
Yep. He's got to go. These guys are throwing, though. What an entertaining fight.
I don't think we've seen either one of these guys shoot for a takedown at this point.
Nope.
They're going to finish standing up.
Yep.
If you're either man right now, you have to go. You cannot wait. I realize you're tired, but you can do anything for 20 seconds, okay?
Perhaps waiting for that perfect opportunity. We saw the big explosion from Polk. Johnson was able to weather the storm.
what I'm talking about.
And Polk going again.
This is how I was scoring the last round based on Polk's aggression. He's making Johnson back up. That looks bad when you're a judge, okay? If you're backing up, you are losing.
Tie clinch by Polk led to a knee, and then they separate.
If Johnson doesn't do anything in the last 20 seconds, I think Lee Polk won this fight.
Yep, you're right.
Polk
See-
left.
Oh!
Down he goes!
Oh,
That's it!
What a shot!
A knockout win for
Wow.
Lee Doomsday Polk.
I said go for the finish, and what does Lee Polk do? He goes for the finish.
Woo! Lee Polk collapses in exhaustion. That's the knockout he wanted to close out the activity, and don't leave it in the hands of the judges. That's how you finish things.
Under 20 seconds to go. And Lee Polk just dropped Tanner Johnson where he stood. What a shot.
Great shot. That's what I'm talking about. You got to go for it. He followed through with that shot. Look at this shot that drops him here.
Yeah, you can see
Get a
Lee
replay.
Polk celebrating as we look at the replay one more time.
He's emotional. He's
And
crying.
I think it
Lee
was
Polk
the
is
first
crying.
one. Watch this. It's the first one right here. Right?
Look at this.
There,
He fell-
that's
yeah,
what won
right
the
there.
fight.
That was right on the button. He goes down.
Caught him right on the chin. Wow, that was impressive. What a win for Lee Polk. I'm going to head inside the cage right now. I'm going to get an interview with Lee.
So Sawyer, what a finish here.
Great finish from Lee Polk. I mean, he was exhausted. Look, as he was throwing that shot that dropped Johnson.
Yeah.
As he was throwing that shot, his mouth was open. His mouth was open, sucking sand, man, and he followed through with that. Boom, right on the button, down he goes.
And you got to give Johnson credit because he took a lot of punishment, and you asked for it. He looked like he was going for it there. He just put himself in a situation that, hey, if I'm going to go for it, I could get finished, and that's what happened. All right, to announce our winner, here's Chandler Goins.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout was stopped in the third round with 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the third round by